Hey guys! So Nintendo released yet another app alongside Nintendo Today and Nintendo Music called Nintendo Store, and as the name suggests, it's a storefront for Switch and Switch 2 games where you can load them directly onto the console, similar to the eShop or the Nintendo website, and it has some of the information that the Nintendo website has as well, on top of some other information that's worth looking into that's very fascinating, and it's kind of interesting that it's tied to this app specifically. But as we can see here, it's kind of showing, like, what you would expect, like some of the recent games, like an upcoming game like Age of Imprisonment, the highlights from the recent Direct. You could even watch the Direct within this app, which is pretty interesting, kind of similar to Nintendo Today, but it shows, like, some of the games here, and if you click on one, like, let's look at Kirby Air Riders, it kind of shows, like, a little page for it, where it shows the description, a video, some screenshots, kind of like the eShop, but when you press go to product page, it kind of boots you over to the website. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense as they don't have like a full system of like purchasing the game within the app. I guess it still is more convenient than just loading up the website on your mobile device. I mean, I wouldn't blame people if they're still just going to use the website on their mobile device, because I mean, this app wasn't entirely necessary. I guess it just makes things a little more presentable on a mobile device. So it still kind of does make sense. But we have like bestsellers, like both on Switch 2 and Switch 1. And like some sales for different games. Games that like recently released. It even shows the partner showcase as well. So I guess they're going to have like several of the previous directs on here. Like, I guess, like, all the directs that happened, like, within the past year. Like, yeah, it's showing that the April direct and different things. I don't think it goes back to the March Switch 1 direct, but it does show, like, most of the relevant directs. Even shows games with, like, demos available. And then it even goes into, like, the My Nintendo store with the My Nintendo rewards, which is pretty interesting. So I guess that's, like, another way of kind of accessing these. I think the My Nintendo rewards were kind of hidden before, like, even on the Nintendo website. They were kind of, like, weirdly inaccessible. So it is kind of nice if you're interested in getting these rewards. There's, like, a better way of accessing them now. I think it also might show your point balance. I think it shows it, like, under, like, your account. So there is, like, a way of keeping track of that as well. Even, like, things for specific series, like Kirby, like merchandise and games. Then you have like the search bar as well, where you could like just search for things or merchandise specifically. It's kind of nice that they have like a little area for merchandise as well, since that kind of redirects to the website. Then software. I like how a Mario RPG is being represented for role-playing games. And we have the 3 Peak games here. And also Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is also Peak. But kind of like how it's categorized in that way. Kind of reminds me of like the Wii U and 3DS eShops. I'm not sure if like the Switch and Switch 2 eShops like have like little categories for different genres. I think that's like specifically when you like go in the search bar, you have to specify the genre. But here it actually has like different tabs for them, which is nice. Yeah, and then it even has like a little thing with rewards and your point balance. And then it also has news as well, which is pretty interesting. I guess it kind of makes it a little redundant with Nintendo Today, since Nintendo Today is also like an app for news. But in weirdly, this is like an even more like accessible way of looking at the news. So I think that's kind of funny there. I mean, they could have combined this app with Nintendo Today. It's just kind of weird that they're 2 separate apps. Like, honestly, I think they should have made, like, all of the Switch or Nintendo-related apps into one. Except for maybe Nintendo Music. That's fine being separate. But, like, the Switch app, the Nintendo Today, and this could have been one app. I think that would have made a lot of sense. I mean, it's not a big deal that they're separate apps. But, yeah, some of this information is kind of redundant from Nintendo Today. And just, like I said, weirdly more accessible as well. And yeah, this is like loaded within the app too. So it's like, that's not even like a full redirect. So that's pretty nice. You can even like view events promotions, in Switch Online, and Ask the Developer. I'm surprised that these aren't in Nintendo Today. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. They might have posted the Ask the Developer like interviews to Nintendo Today, but it's just kind of weird that they're in here rather than that app, or not easily accessible in Nintendo Today. So it's just kind of weird. You can look at the wish list as well. I also have games that I've wishlisted games that I bought physically. That's why it's showing games that I already have in there. And then looking at my Nintendo account specifically, I'm gonna blur out that QR code there, but it actually shows your play activity, which is really interesting. And it's not just your play activity from the Switch and Switch 2, since I can go on here and specify, like, looking at each individual game systems, it goes all the way back to 3DS if you link your Nintendo ID. So, or Nintendo Network ID. So this is pretty interesting. It doesn't show my Wii U games. You can get it to show your Wii U games as well, but I had two separate Nintendo Network IDs for my 3DS and Wii U, since, I mean, I was a kid when I was, like, creating accounts for those. I, like, didn't realize, like, they were connected at first, and then, like, couldn't, like, connect them together when it was too late when I, like, kind of realized. So that's why it only shows my 3DS information on here. But it's really cool that you can view your 3DS information. Like, Nintendo's still reminding me that I have over 100 hours in New Super Mario Bros. 2, which is kind of funny. I don't even know how I got to that amount of hours in the game. It's just kind of, I think it's because, like, back when I got it in 2012, it was one of the only games I had, so I just kept playing it over and over. So even Sticker Star is on here, which is pretty funny. So I have even more 3DS games than this. This only goes up to, like, I think when the service shut down, or just, like, up to 2020, I think. Yeah, it says, like, last updated February 2020. So I have more games other than this as well for my 3DS, and some of these playtimes might be different. Like, there are, like, several games in here that I got, like the Bowser's Inside Story remake, that aren't showing up in here since I got it after 2020. But still, pretty fascinating to see your playtime for the 3DS, like, alongside, like, Switch 1, and then all the way up to Switch 2. So it's pretty interesting there. So anyways, I think this app is pretty fascinating. I definitely didn't expect this, but it kind of makes sense why Nintendo made this, considering their strategy for the Switch 2 era of expanding and providing these services in more places. But let me know what you think down in the comments. And anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!